Okay, hi everybody. It says we've gone live. I'm just going to wait for confirmation on that. Someone in the chat maybe tell me that you're hearing me and seeing me okay. Okay, I guess we're working, and so we'll get started. Hey everybody, Scott McGinnis here from ArmsportVideos. Proud to announce our first milestone. We have reached 5,000 subscribers. A huge thank you to everybody that's tuned in and subscribed over the time that we've been loading up to our YouTube channel. We really, really, really appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you to those who follow our channel and share our appreciation of arm wrestling and arm wrestlers. We are soon to launch main event arm wrestling in March of this year, and hope you will consider becoming a member of the ArmsportVideos community to help further this endeavor. That starts, I think our first event is March 12th, and we're not going to be live streaming that one yet. We hope to do live streaming sometime in the future. And for only $4.99 per month, you'll get access to the live streams. You'll get access to the edited versions before the general public does. You'll get weekly updates about what we're posting and what we're doing and where we're going, and whatever other little tidbits we can give you along the way. That would be great. And your support will help us to attend and film more events from here in Atlantic, Canada, to across the country, if need be, I guess. And it will also help me to provide you a top quality footage and entertainment. We look forward to continuing to chronicle both new and old arm wrestling footage and sharing it with the world. And I want to thank everybody so far for their loyalty. You don't know how much that means to me. It's just truly, truly amazing that we've reached this milestone. Very appreciative. In the chat so far, Pain Plan Arm Wrestling from PEI. Hey, Jody. Fangirl 1, The Anticipation. Suryak Toast. Hi, Scott. Hi, Suryak. And Richard Jennings. Good evening to you, and thanks for tuning in all the time. Got a couple shout outs as well that I'd like to give. First of all, a good friend of mine, Grippler, Ian Carnegie, made a huge donation to ArmsportVideos when I was up in Ontario in November. I believe the tournament that I covered for the Ottawa Valley High Hookers was in November. Huge donation. Truly appreciative to Ian the Grippler Carnegie for that. Also, Evan Mcgegen, Alan Ford, and the whole Ottawa Valley High Hookers crew made it super easy for me to come up and film their free-for-all event. I had a great time up there that weekend with those guys. Really appreciate them making that easy for us. Also, Lori Crawford, Nick Mantis, Dave Knox, Craig Mitchell, and the whole Club Mantis crew. I got to go up to Club Mantis in Wasaga Beach last year and film the event, super matches all day. Had a great time with them. Really appreciate them opening their home to us and taking us in. Their hospitality was just truly amazing. Hope to be able to head back there again this year and film their next event. Also, while we were going up to Wasaga Beach, stopped in and saw Mike Gould and Janet Thompson in Kingston. Their hospitality was amazing. We had a great time hanging out with Mike and Janet in Kingston. Also, look, Perry Broom from Battle Zone. During this time of COVID, not a whole lot going on here in Nova Scotia or in Atlantic Canada. Perry Broom managed to squeeze in a couple events and gave me the call, and we went to support his event, film it. That can be seen. The footage can be seen here on ArmsportVideos. Who else we got? The Timberley Gladiators. Rob McNamara and Angela McNamara started a bunch of super matches featuring mainly amateur pullers called Basement Battles, and I was in contact with them, and they had me come out and film all the basement battles that we've done. Had a great time filming basement battles. We just did one a couple weeks ago. Starting next week, I believe the footage for that starts airing next Wednesday. And then we have another basement battles coming up on March 19th, and I'll be there to get all that action and edit it and bring it down for you. All the pullers from Atlantic, Canada, who've made it so easy for us over the years to come into their places and film, and had a great time. Love bringing footage of all these people that their names aren't mainstream and not everybody knows about them, but they're all important, and I still like to record them and present them to everybody as well. I believe that every puller that enters your tournament is important, and I want to showcase all of them. I want to bring every match that I possibly can. And my philosophy has always been that every puller makes your tournament. So much so that I remember traveling to the Worlds and 4 or 5 days of competition on 6 tables and me trying to capture every single match. It's a job and a half, and there's a ton of editing when I get home, but we love doing it. Sometimes it gets a little bit overwhelming and you get bogged down with a lot of video, but hopefully in the end it's well worth it. Check the chat out again. Angela McNamara is in the chat. Hey, Angela. Trevor Weatherby, hope you're feeling better, buddy. I'll be talking to you tomorrow. Jody Pringle, yes, Grippler is one of the best. And Suryak Toast, that's right, March 19th for the next TG Basement Battles. And I'll be capturing all that footage live. Also for 2022, I have a bunch of things scheduled already. March 12th is our inaugural main event that we're going to be bringing to you. My partner Rick Pinkney and I are both pretty excited about that and the plans that we have for the future of main event arm wrestling, and hopefully we could pull it off and eventually get to live streaming and just presenting some really good Atlantic Coast arm wrestling and arm wrestlers, and maybe we'll invite some people in from out of town once in a while. So we have that, March 12th, March 19th, the next Basement Battles. April 2nd, the first non-restricted arm wrestling tournament is coming up. The Atlantic Canadian Arm Wrestling Championships are April 2nd this year. Unfortunately, due to scheduling conflict, I won't be there. I am leaving a couple of cameras behind, but I will be at Michigan State's. We've been in contact with Steve Pettis, and I'm going to be in Michigan State's to film the Michigan State Arm Wrestling Championships. Outside of a Nationals, I think it's the single biggest arm wrestling tournament in North America right now. It's just been a huge tournament for Steve, and he's doing an amazing job promoting and doing what he's doing. And you got to love his awards. The Golden Gorillas are unique and amazing. I think they're great. So I talked to Rick Pinkney this afternoon, and we have to come up with something for awards for our main event arm wrestling, something unique like what Steve has done with his Golden Gorillas. I think those things are super cool. The WAL had their hammers. I think the guys out in Winnipeg or Manitoba are giving away swords for one of their tournaments. Whatever it is, Rick and I have to come up with something unique and different. Just checking out the chat again. Chris Cornelius, my buddy from up in Truro, Nova Scotia. Hope you're feeling great, Chris. I hope your recovery's coming along well, and I can't wait to see you soon. We got to make a trip up to Truro just to hang out with you guys from Truro and that area, arm wrestling. And Jody Pringle says, keep up the great work, Scott. You are helping showcase the sport we love. My pleasure, Jody, because I love it as well. I love showing all these arm wrestlers and arm wrestling. And don't get me wrong, I love watching the big name guys just like everybody else. I like watching the John Brzezinks, the Michael Todds, the Devin Larretts, and Tim Bresnans, and Todd Hutchings, if I may have said him already. I love watching all these guys too. And I'm forking out my money to watch the pay-per-views, which for the most part have been pretty good. They're getting better all the time. But these guys are all doing a great job. These promoters are doing a great job trying to get things together. What else do I have on the go? After the Atlantics and Michigan States, I imagine I'll be bogged down in editing for a little bit. And then after that, I think around the end of April, the Nova Scotia 2022 Nova Scotia Provincials Edition is going to be held. That's the qualifier for the Canadian Nationals and bragging rights in Nova Scotia. So that gets held the end of April. And then sometime, I believe, around the end of May, we're going to do our next main event arm wrestling event. We haven't even started working on that card yet. We do have some ideas, but we haven't started working on that card. So that's the end of May. And I think that pretty well brings us to the Canadian Nationals being held by Daryl Stephenson and crew out in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I have been in contact with Daryl, and I am making a return to the Canadian Nationals to film all the matches and be able to bring all that action to you in one spot where you'll be able to find it quite easily. It wasn't too hard of a job to get me to come back. And if, in case you're wondering, I stopped traveling for some health reasons, but my health seems to be pretty good. I was looking after myself a bit better, and my family's a bit happier with me now than they were before. So that's good. The Canadian Nationals. I'm not sure if there's anything on in September. But the end of October, my plan is, and I've confirmed with the promoter, that I will be heading to New England Championships again. I haven't been there since 2019. COVID had the borders closed, so we couldn't get across the border. So we're going to try and make the New England Championships again, speaking to the promoter Joshua Grant down in Massachusetts, and I'm anxious to get back down there and see a bunch of friends. And I think that's all I have scheduled for this year, but that may be enough. We're not really sure, but again, and that's why we've introduced the membership. The memberships as well for ArmsportVideos. Like I said, for $4.99 a month, all that money will go to helping us get to more tournaments and film more events and showcase more arm wrestlers and arm wrestling. And right now, PEI Derek, always great content. Scott, thank you, Derek. Appreciate that. Any other questions for me? Just feel free to let loose. And I think that's all the prepared information that I have. Next week on the program, on Monday, there is the finals of the 2013 Atlantic Canadian Championships. On Tuesday, I believe Rick Pinkney and I shot a show today, just talking about various topics that are trending right now in arm wrestling. So that'll air on Tuesday, and then Wednesday of this week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is devoted to the basement battles. So a new super match will go up every Wednesday, every day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, this week at 12 noon Atlantic time, 11 o'clock Eastern time. So that starts this Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, with the remaining matches airing the next week. Fangirl 1 says back to Wasaga. That the plan is to go back to Wasaga in September. As of yet, I really do not have a date. Also, what did I left out in September? We're making a road trip to Toronto. The PAL Canada is putting on an event in Toronto. I've talked with Magda from the PAL in Toronto, and we are going to film that. There's some super matches involving Mike Gould, Rick Heidebrecht, the return of Heidi Cordner, Sarah Wilson is going to be in that. So just the fact that I heard that Rick Heidebrecht, Sarah Wilson, Heidi Cordner, and Mike Gould were going to be involved, I wanted to go and be able to film that. And I'm going to be traveling up there with friends from here. And then I hope back to Wasaga. As I said, I still don't have the date. I think they're leaning towards somewhere around the 19th or 20th in Wasaga Beach. I don't have any details as of yet. I have reached out, and they have not confirmed anything with me so far. So that's September. And then, like I said, October is going to be in New England, in Massachusetts, for the New England Championships. And I'm assuming Nova Scotia Arm Wrestling will have something else later on this year, Battle of the Atlantic or something that I will more than likely be attending. And I think that's pretty well all I all I have prepared. But as I said, I did film a show today with Rick Pinkney, and just some of the things we talked about. The next upcoming King of the Table that I just learned is being canceled because of the actions going on right now between Russia and the Ukraine, and that's too bad. We hope everyone will be okay. Jody Pringle, if you come to Picton, we will have to get you out to the new clubhouse. You're always welcome. Thanks, Jody. Appreciate that a lot. Who else do I know is from Picton? I think my friend Troy Eden is from up that way, is he not? And if you guys are holding an event and you can get me to come up there, then it's not that difficult. It would cost a little bit of money, but it's not that difficult to get me to show up. But I'd love to make a trip to Picton. Let's say, okay, so back to the show. We talked about King of the Table 3. We talked about my friend Jake Ward, the Aussie arm wrestler, was able to actually quit his job and is now working full-time as a YouTuber. I think that's great. Somebody else involved in arm wrestling and is going to be able to make a living. I think that's fantastic. Joining the ranks of Ryan Bowen and Uncle John Thompson from here at Halifax. And I'm not sure who else is making a living at that. And I'm not sure if those guys are making, I know Ryan Bowen, that's his full-time job. I'm not sure if Uncle John, if that's his full-time job or not, but and Jake Ward has just started. This is his full-time job. What else did we talk about? We talked about rankings, and Rick gave his thoughts on the rankings, and I gave my thoughts on rankings. We talked a little bit about East versus West 3. That's the one that's canceled, not King of the Table 3. That has not been canceled. East versus West. That's Engen Terzi's promotion. Engen did an amazing job with his last couple, and the lineup for the next one is looking pretty impressive as well. But that one's going to be that's, I think, postponed till August, I believe. But we'll wait for more word from Engen on that. I thought I just read it on Facebook today that it was canceled. And we talked about basement battles a little bit. We talked about the upcoming main event, arm wrestling. I know Rick is pretty excited about hosting the Atlantic. So the first tournament with no restrictions in 2 years. I know he's excited about hosting it. I hope you all can make it. Everybody in Atlanta, well, the tournament's open to anyone. You don't have to be from Atlanta, Canada. It's an open tournament. Anybody that can attend, you're welcome to come and pull. It's not like the Nova Scotia Provincials where you have to be a resident. Atlanta Canadians are open to anybody. So here's hoping that we get a big crew from PEI. All the PEI pullers come over. A big crew from New Brunswick. Love seeing all those guys come to Nova Scotia. Big crew from Nova Scotia is expected. I hope everybody can come out. And there's talk about that we might have some guys from Newfoundland coming as well. And that'd be great. And I'm just sorry that our first tournament back that I'm actually not going to be here. However, I had already made the commitment, and I don't think Rick actually knew that when he booked the date and the facility. So we'll have to talk a little bit more often, I guess, to make sure it doesn't happen again. And reaching the 5,000 number was a huge number for me. First of all, I can't believe that 5,000 people are interested in my videos. Like, it just sometimes I just don't get it. But it's all good. We're happy to be there, and hopefully we can keep increasing and putting out some better product. And I've heard people complain at times like the footage looks like it's from 20 years ago. Well, folks, my first arm wrestling tournament was 1985. So anything that we filmed from way back then is not going to be great. We don't know if we're looking at a first generation VHS tape that I'm converting, or if it's a 24th generation VHS tape. So some stuff is good, some stuff is not. It looks old because it is old. So other than that, sometimes the quality sucks, sometimes it's great. There's not a whole lot I can do with some of the quality. For the most part, I think our arm wrestling history is important enough that I've spent a fair amount of time compiling and putting out there for everyone to see. what I think really do believe is the largest arm wrestling library on the internet. I think we just passed 3,070 videos posted. And on the corner of my desk, there's still some DVDs that are all edited and ready to be posted. It's just, everything comes in due time. I keep posting them. And if there's people out there, if you have old arm wrestling footage that you're not sure if anybody's interested or not, I'm interested. I will convert it and digitize it for you for free. And the only condition is that I get to edit it and post the video myself. And other than that, nothing to it. And I will supply back to you a DVD or have your footage on a memory stick, whichever you prefer. I got asked a couple of weeks ago about how come I don't have more Western Canadian footage, because I don't have any more Western Canadian footage. So if I could get more, I would love to work on that, because I think as a Canadian, I want all of our arm wrestling history to be available. So I would like to do more. And if you have more or know who has more, reach out to me, have them reach out to me, and I will convert it. And if I can't convert it here at home, I will get it converted and then edit it and supply back to you the edited version. Even if you want the raw footage back, you can have the raw footage back. No big deal to me about that. Angela McNamara still signed in as Angela Hall. You haven't changed that yet, Angela? That's amazing. Well, you know what? Thank you. It is a labor of love for me. During COVID, my wife has been working from home, so my only job is to stay out of her way. So here I am in my office, working away while she makes money. I'm here working away on silly arm wrestling videos. But we're having a good time, and I hope you're all enjoying the footage. And like I said, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. And there's my boy, Ready Bang! Jake, how are you doing, my friend? Glad you could join us. Beaver Pumper, Beaver Hair, great job. Hey, Beaver Pumper, how are you? I'm glad you could join us as well. Love this channel. Thanks, Jake, Aussie Arm Wrestler. Thank you very much. And look, if there's something I'm not doing that you would like to see, just let me know. Sometimes I run out of ideas. This was going to be my last year of doing the Arm Wrestler Spotlights. I wasn't going to do those after this year. I have a bunch prepared in advance, and I was going to stop after whatever I have done is posted. You tell me if you'd like me to continue. If you don't want me to continue. Also, I do the ArmsportVideos feature matches, and I actually like doing those. It's still challenging for me to find some good matches from local guys here that are arm wrestling to guys. I have footage of guys all over the world, and if they're in a great match, no problem. I still like to do it. Aussie Arm Wrestler says, love this channel and keep up the great work. Thanks, Jake. I appreciate that. And the same can be said for you. And again, if you missed it, congratulations on being able to quit your job and do arm wrestling on YouTube full time. That's amazing. I'm so happy for you. I hope it works great for you, and you can make a good living. So I'd like you to let me know about the Arm Wrestler Spotlights. Also, I talked to Angela McNamara about this, and Rick and I have talked about it before. And at some of the tournaments I go, we can offer, if like at the Worlds, there's a protest process. And while I was covering the Worlds for the WAF, I introduced it at the Worlds, and Leonard Harkless, who was the I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. He was the head referee for the WAF when I was covering the WAF. And he tried it out for the last time that we did the Worlds was in Brazil, and a couple of protests, and we offered video replay. So Leonard comes back, and all I do is cue up the video, and he has a look at it in slow motion, blown up, whatever. But there's a cost to this. It isn't free. So at the main event, we're going to introduce it for a cost of $20. If you don't like the call that was made, you can pay the $20, and we will look at the video. No, you don't get to look at the video. the referees will look at the video. And it's not me making a decision. I'm not a referee. I'm just the flunky video guy. But the referees will look at it. If there's enough evidence to overturn the call and it's ruled in your favor, you'll get your $20 back. If it's ruled against you that there's not enough evidence to overturn the call made at the table, then we keep your $20. Let me know if you think we should keep offering that up or if it's not worth it. Like we offered it up this past year at the Nova Scotia Provincial Championships and nobody took advantage of it. Is it a cost? Is that the issue? You don't want to spend the $20 or there wasn't any bad calls? And if you say there was no bad calls, Rick Pinkney's going to love you because that means he did a great job that day. Now, personally, I think he did do a great job that day. And that footage is available right here on the ArmsportVideos YouTube channel as well. And I've had different people ask me, well, how do I find a video? So I've cataloged everything by year and name of event. So if you're looking for footage from a Canadian Nationals that I attended or that I have in the library, just type in the 2004 Canadian Nationals and whatever clips I have titled for the 2004 Canadian Nationals will pop up. And you can choose from there. And each tournament has its own playlist, so you can see every clip is listed in that playlist as to what's available for that tournament. And I got an answer already on my question, well, should we offer the replay? And Angela McNamara says, I say yes. Okay, so there's one vote for her. And so, I don't know, different people have asked me, I just got asked again last week, Scott, why don't you do a podcast? You know what? I think there's enough podcasts going on right now. I'm not sure what I can add to the mix for podcasts. You've got guys like the Aussie Arm Wrestler doing them. Uncle John's doing them. Neil Pickup is doing his from England. John Brzezinski is doing his podcast Monday Night Live, I think, where he takes questions and answers those. There's a bunch of guys doing podcasts. I just read that a couple of the guys from Saskatchewan, Curtis Klashinsky, sorry, Curtis, I didn't mean to butcher your name. Him and his partner have just started a brand new podcast that I'll have to check out later on. But all these guys are doing a great job. And I've done a whack of interviews with people over the years, but they were all in my In Focus shows. And I personally really like the in-person, face-to-face interview, conversation, whatever you want to call it. I never really fancied myself that much of an interviewer, but I like sitting down and having a conversation about things that I'm interested in. And in case you're wondering, I've interviewed everybody from Devin, John, Michael Todd, John Milne, Neil Pickup. I've interviewed Richard Lupke's, Rick Pinkney a few times, a bunch of the arm wrestlers from here in Atlantic, Canada. I had a great time and got to meet guys and find out more about them. And it's something I enjoy doing, but I don't know if we need another guy starting up a Zoom interview. And I'm not trying to disrespect anything that's going on right now because I think these guys are doing a great job. I just don't know if I have anything to offer in that vein. So, and look, I'm looking. We've got 13 people in the watching the live stream. I really appreciate that. 11 thumbs up. It's all great, folks. It's all good. So I appreciate it. And so I've rambled on for about 31 minutes or so. And unless you have any other questions, I might just cut it off there. I'm not sure if there's anything else I have to add right now. I hope you'll continue to support the channel. Hope you'll continue to tune in to see what I'm offering up. Appreciate it all. I'd love it if you would like and share the videos that come up. That helps us out immensely. You don't know how much that helps us out. And the way the YouTube algorithms work, the more shares and likes that we get, the better the channel will do and the better the clips will do. Aussie Arm Wrestler, what is your favorite video? The favorite video that I've shot, Jake, or the favorite one I've seen? I can tell you one of the favorite videos I shot. I went to the Zloty tour over in Poland, and I'm hanging out with Timmy Brezin, who became a very good a very good friend of mine, and Christian Binney, who became a very good friend of mine through all my travels. And I filmed the John Brzenk, Denis Saplenkoff match that happened at Zloty that year. You had to be, we walked in the room the first night, and it wasn't a room, it was a parking garage. And I'm not joking, I'm not exaggerating. Me and Timmy and Kristen were walking around going, you've got to be kidding. They're holding a tournament in a parking garage? But that's where it was. And by the time we left there, after Timmy and Christian had weighed in, we left and we came back the next morning. This place, this parking garage, was transformed. It was truly amazing. So I'm filming all day. The first day, left-handed matches. Everything is great. I'm having a great time. There's some amazing matches. Igor always puts on incredible events. It just, you would never believe this was in a parking garage. This was fantastic. So then we get to the second day of the tournament. Right-hand matches are going on. It's a great show. It's a great show. Right-handed arm wrestling is a different level than left-handed arm wrestling. No disrespect to any of the left-handed arm wrestlers, because when I arm wrestled way back in the day, I only arm wrestled left-handed. But so we're getting down to the finals and the overall, and the matchup is happening. First, we saw Timmy pull. Timmy had a great day and he pulled great, and he cracked Saplenkoff, and me and Christian are just going crazy. And we're thinking, oh my God, when John gets to the table, what's going to happen? So John and Denis finally are meeting up, and the place was electric. I've never felt that feeling before. This place was insane. Might have had something to do with the free vodka they were giving away all day. Who knows? But anyway, it was amazing. It was amazing to be in this room and John and Denis take the stage. And the place was just insane. And even the video doesn't do it justice. And then John beats Denis. And we're just blown away. And the whole place is ready to explode and erupt. And then they come back in the overall final and meet in the finals again, and John beats him again. And at that time, Denis was thought to be unbeatable, indestructible. But we're talking about John Brzenk, the most unbelievable arm wrestler that we've ever seen. I've never seen anybody. And I'm sorry, and I love Devin, and I love Timmy and Christian and all these guys. John Brzenk, we're talking a different world. We really are. This is the best arm wrestler I have ever seen. Just crazy. So that's a memory that comes back to me as one of the most amazing matches. I was in the presence of watching these guys pull. And so it was great. I don't know. I hope that answers, Jake, I hope that answers your question for you. I better put on, if I'm trying to read, I better put on my glasses. Jake Charles in the chat. Hey, Scott, hope you're doing well. I'm doing great, Jake. It was so good to see you last summer at Wasaga Beach. Jake Charles, great puller from Ontario. Love hanging out with Jake. Great guy. Just love sharing some time with him. Hank's time-lapse travel videos and destinations. This is James in Tennessee. Okay. Hi, James in Tennessee. 100% mate, ripper story. Okay, I'm glad I got to what it is you're asking me about, Jake. And a lot of times, I don't open up about what some of my experiences have been, because I don't want anyone to think that it's bragging or anything. I've just been incredibly fortunate to be in the presence of some of these greats and amazing arm wrestlers. And I've always said this before. It's that we go and we film and promoters put on, but it's the arm wrestlers who always make the show, always. And I love watching them pull. It's just it's an amazing sport, and the personalities that go along with this, and the camaraderie is second to none, and it's always great. So, Fangirl One says, "What was your favorite worlds?" As a destination, Italy was my favorite worlds, but there was a lot of a lot of technical issues in Italy. We were in a brand new venue, and they had some power interruptions and some power troubles. There wasn't so much power overloads, and I don't think the venue was wired for as much power as was being demanded. So I think it was right at the beginning of day one of the tournament, and the whole place went black. And the really bad thing about that was, for me, is that it fried a couple of my chargers and fried some batteries that I was trying to get charged up at the time. And I was struck down from covering all 6 tables to only having available to me, I think, 3 cameras. And however, as a destination, I had an amazing time in Italy. That being said, I've had an amazing time everywhere I've gone to Worlds. Had a great time in Brazil when we were there. The Brazilians' hospitality was great. Went in 2011, went to Kazakhstan, and you won't believe it. It was an amazing trip, and the people in Kazakhstan were incredible people as well. And where else have I gone? A couple in Canada here, one out in British Columbia. I filmed out in Kelowna. Keith Koenig put one on there. Lise Blanchard put one on in Ottawa. I had a great time there. I guess the one that really stands out for me as far as an event goes is my very first Worlds that I went and filmed. I was part of the crew and the team, and I went to Springfield, Illinois in 2002. And that was just, I harken back to, I can remember my first tournament with Rick Pinkney in 1985, and my eyes were open to the world of professional arm wrestling. And it was just crazy. Like, I mean, I saw you seen it on TV on Wild World Sports when I was a kid. And then, of course, the silly arm wrestling on a kitchen table and that kind of thing that most of us have done. But 2002, Springfield, and the adventure that came along with that. I mean, I flew down there by myself. Nobody to pick me up at the airport. I flew into St. Louis, Missouri. Nobody picking me up. I'm hanging around the airport trying to make phone calls. And 2002, I don't think we had our cell phones as readily available as now. But I ended up taking a bus, a Greyhound bus from St. Louis to Springfield. That was a 2-hour drive. And then they had a van waiting to pick me up, take me to the hotel. But I had a great time in Springfield. It was my first Worlds. It was a fairly small Worlds, but I had a great time. And it was a great event to be at. And all my Worlds have lasting memories for different reasons. For me, it's the scope of the work. For one guy, 6 tables, whatever we're at now, 4 days competition, 5 days competition, and the scope of the editing is almost too much for one person to handle. But I worked through it and got it all out there. Now, is it out there in as quickly a fashion as everybody would like? Probably not. But as I said, I'm just one guy working from my home office, and at times my wife will come in and I may have 4 computers on the go, like a desktop and 2 or 3 laptops, all working on something, processing video or sending video up. But the Worlds was a big deal for me. I do not anticipate covering another Worlds, mainly, again, because of the scope of the work. And I'm not going and covering the Worlds for free. I'm not taking a week and spending all my money to travel wherever in a hotel room. And I know arm wrestlers have to do that, but I'm going there to work. I do not anticipate attending and filming another Worlds. Now, a few years ago, Rick Pinkney from Nova Scotia Arm Wrestling and president of the Canadian Arm Wrestling Association was making inquiries about holding a Worlds here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, and asked me about it. And I'm saying, like, wow, it is a ton of work, and I may do it for you, but I don't know how quickly I would be to agree to go to another one. And like I said, it's only because of the scope of work. But I've had a great time at all my world travels. Had a great time at being across Canada a bunch of times, covering a bunch of nationals. And I think even outside of nationals, I've covered tournaments in, I think, every single province except for Newfoundland. I have not been to Newfoundland yet to film an event. Perry Broom held Newfoundland Provincials, and I was invited to go over, but I just I couldn't make the trip. I was still working at the time, and that just didn't make it. But I've been to PEI covering events, New Brunswick, Quebec, Ontario, a bunch of times in Ontario. Manitoba, I've been to, I think, just nationals for Manitoba. Saskatchewan, I've been to a few events in Saskatchewan, not just nationals. Alberta, I went out and filmed in Edmonton. The Edmonton Extreme puts on what the big tournament they put on every year in West Edmonton Mall. I was out there for that one year, and they had a super match with John Brzezinski and Ryan Espy. I forget what the name of that tournament's called, but somebody, I for the life of me, I can't remember. So that's Alberta, and I've been to BC a few times filming events. And so I've had a great time traveling across this country, and the people that you meet. And Dean S., I remember you filming me winning a British title. Nice. That's outstanding. Great, Dean. Great. Like that's nice. That's nice. Hanks. Oh, again, I better put on my glasses to read the chats. Hank's time-lapse travel videos and destinations. Battles. Yes, battles. Favorite worlds I've covered. Kelowna. Yeah, Kelowna, BC. I was out there for nationals when Keith held nationals. I was out there for worlds when Keith held the worlds. Also in BC, Anthony D'Antonio put on nationals. And I was not out there when Clayton Faulkner held his, because I stepped away for health reasons at the time. And those that don't know, 10 or 11 years ago, I had a heart attack. Found out I was diabetic. And funny story about that is I wasn't allowed to do anything. I wasn't allowed to drive or travel anywhere for 30 days. But on day 31, after my heart attack, I was on a plane heading to the Mike Gould Classic, because you can't miss the Mike Gould Classic. And Mike Gould, if you ever decide to do a Mike Gould Classic, I got to be the first call, because you know I need to be there. So Hank's time-lapse worlds 2008, that is correct. 2008 out in Kelowna. We're getting older. No, we're just getting old, or I am already old. So Hank's time-lapse travel videos, you're right on the money there. So, and Dean, so I was there filming you winning a British title. So Dean, was that at the Worlds? Or I was also there for one of Neil Pickup's Arm Wars events that I filmed. That was when both right and left-handed Devin Larratt pulled against Travis Bajan. And right-handed, it was an ugly, ugly, ugly match. They could not get their grip together, and it just seemed like it was just terrible. Yeah, against Steve Rogers. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Hank's time-lapse travel videos and destination. James Battles. Wow. Wow, Jim Battles. I was actually on vacation with Jim Battles. Jim Battles, his wife Heather, and Frank and Carol Bean, and we went on an Alaskan cruise. Had a great time. Your video is still up. I was on the undercard, Battle of Britain. Well, and I know I have not exhausted everything, but Hank's travel logs and destinations, I did. I did. Yeah. Your video is still up. I was on their undercard, Battle of Britain. Okay. So you're part of the Arm Wars card. Rick Chevry, great work, Scott. Love the channel. Thanks, Rick. Rick's a friend from PEI. I just saw before Christmas. I went over to PEI to film a small event that the Pain Plant, Jody Harper, and his son-in-law, Logan McClare, were putting on. Got to see Charlie Mcgegen and Rick Chevry and all the guys from PEI. And I screwed up. And when I got home, I'm checking out the video footage and I'm thinking, okay, I'm happy with how this came out. And somehow I deleted it. So I don't have any. I took my wife over to PEI for a nice weekend away, and I just had to do one afternoon of shooting some videos, and I deleted it and lost every bloody second. And thanks, Travel Videos. Love you, buddy. Thank you. So it's too bad that I lost the footage. I think I was more disappointed than the guys were. They just said, no big deal, you can come back and do it again. But earlier in 2021, I had traveled down to Digby, Nova Scotia. I was doing a little feature on one of our pullers from here. And so I went down and shot a whole bunch of video. And I was trying to do my version of a documentary on Phil Carty from the Loaded Guns in Digby, Nova Scotia. So I get back home, and the video was all great, but the sound didn't work. So I had to travel back down a couple weeks later and reshoot the interviews that I did. So I put that all together, and we released a clip called The Loaded Gun, and it's the story of Phil Carty. So I wanted to do the same sort of thing on Charlie Mcgegen from Prince Edward Island, because he was the only world champion male arm wrestler from Atlantic Canada at the time. He won it in 2003 in Ottawa. He won a world title. Now, before anybody corrects me, I'm aware that Joyce King also won a world title in 2003, and we'll get to that a bit later. But so I shot interviews with all the different folks regarding Charlie and what Charlie means to Prince Edward Island arm wrestling, and got to do an interview with Charlie and his son, Stephen, who's becoming an accomplished arm wrestler in his own right. But that's what was really disappointing to me, is all that footage and some really, really good stuff, some great lines, some great stories from the guys about Charlie, and I lost it all. So I'll have to make my way back to PEI again and get that done for Charlie. But a clip like that, somebody asked me, well, how long does a clip like that? If you go online and look up The Loaded Gun on my YouTube channel, so I think it's roughly around a half hour, 40-minute clip. It took like 6.5, 7 hours to edit. It was just like trying to put everything together and what fits where and music. And but like, I was happy with the way it came out. I hope that Phil Carty was happy with the way it came out. I hope when people tuned in, they liked it. It's all I have control over. You know, I offer up my stuff and hope that it's as good as I can possibly make it. And on that subject, I have to give credit to Angela Hall, now Angela McNamara, inspired me with the basement battles to, instead of just, you know, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. Okay, here's your edited arm wrestling clip. Well, we started putting some pictures in there and adding some music and the slow motions that we do in that. And I guess people like it. And what I find amusing is that, so I started the slow motion thing years and years and years ago, and it was immortalized in one of the Ottawa High Hookers got together. The In the Hook crew did an homage to ArmsportVideos, and it was called The Slow Motion. And Devin and John Milne and the crew put together this clip paying homage to the ArmsportVideos slow motion that I thought was hilarious. Just it was great. I loved it. It was truly amazing. Then they gave permission for me to repost it, and I thought they did an amazing job. But the point I'm trying to get to, where Fangirl 1 says, love the replays. And I've seen other people doing this, and they don't seem to be pulling it off. Like, some of the guys do like incredible work editing. I think they're way more talented than I am on the computer, and they do some great stuff. But some of the replays I've seen, like, folks, this is not that difficult. I'm not sure why you're having such a hard time, but you know what? It is what it is. Again, I think there's guys out there, like, for example, Brad Cook does amazing video editing work. I thought Gary Roberts did. He was really talented on the computer, and his editing but Gary was back again for a short while, and he's gone again. I think some of the other guys that are trying and experimenting are doing some pretty nice looking arm wrestling videos. Right at the top of my list though is Brad Cook. He does an amazing job editing, and when he actually can, he shoots something for himself and takes the time to really put out a first class videos. He's almost a cinematographer. He's not an arm wrestling video guy. Brad Cook is a cinematographer, and turns his videos into mini movies, and an incredibly talented guy. I just love what he does. Got a couple more comments. Aussie Arm Wrestler saying arm wrestling is sport with so many talented people behind the camera. There's some amazing people behind the camera, that's for sure. And then, of course, everybody and their dog has a cell phone and can shoot a video and think they can start something. And I've never once been worried about the guys taking their video with their cell phones or whatever. That's not what I do. You want to take film of your matches, I think that's all great. It doesn't bother me one bit. I'm here to catalog and put in reference for the future, and I try to catalog our arm wrestling history. Now, doing these small super matches and other tournaments, I've tried to add in a little bit more, whatever my style is. I don't know if I have a style, but to try and make them a little bit more interesting with some slow-mos and some close-ups and some music, and try to even make my YouTube what are they called? Thumbnails. YouTube thumbnails a little bit more interesting. I don't know if I'm being successful with that or not. I'm still learning the whole YouTube world, and some days I feel successful. Some days I think like I'm never going to get this. So I'll just keep pumping out videos and hope people enjoy. Dean from the UK says, new Arm Wars is looking hot video editing wise, I've noticed. Absolutely agree. Neil stepped up the game again. So I'm not sure if he's found anybody to distribute this for him or not. But he's got a great crew in there, and they're doing some amazing stuff. And so in his editing suite, they're getting together and adding together and putting together all this footage is just amazing. Like the Armor stuff has always been very high end editing wise, and the presentation's been great. And now the new era of Arm Wars, he'll pick up his bang on whatever his ideas are in his head. He's bringing that to fruition. I hope it's successful for him. So somebody else says, have you competed in the past? Yes, I have. The last time I put my elbow on a pad competitively, even though I was told not to by a doctor, was 2002. I was starting to have a few heart issues, blood pressure spikes and whatever. And the diagnosis I got was that my blood pressure takes abnormally high spikes under pressure. Well, when you're on an arm wrestling table, there's a little bit of pressure there, folks. So yes, I have. That was the last time I competed. Hanks is telling me, yes, he has. If so, are there any clips? Think I may have seen a sit-down match of yours lately, Trevor Weatherby, or at least a picture of it. A picture of me in a sit-down? You may have. I have competed in sit-down. I didn't like it as much as stand-up personally, but I just put up a feature match not that long ago of myself and Randy Snow from back in the day. It was, oh, geez. I'm not even sure when it was, but it was a while ago. And Randy and I had a great match, and there is footage there. I don't even know what other tournaments. I'll tell you a quick little story when I was arm wrestling, and I chased a guy in Nova Scotia that I outweighed by at least 100 pounds. I chased Perry Broom for a year before I finally got a win on him. At the tournament, I finished third place, But that trophy meant more to me that entire year than the next tournament when I finished first place. Who cares? In this one, I finally got to beat Perry Broom. Now, and it was left-handed, not his preferred arm, but it was a big deal for me, because at best, when I was competing, I was a mediocre puller, at best. And by the time I actually learned how to arm wrestle, I got struck down with some heart issues. You know what? No big deal. And then, so I'm all done. So what am I going to do? Just about all my friends that I was hanging out with were involved in arm wrestling. So I'm not going to sit home and wait to die. So it started off by me just taking still photos and putting them up on the Nova Scotia Arm Wrestling website, which, by the way, in its inception was the #1 arm wrestling website in the whole world. My wife designed it, and Rick and I maintained it, and we would get emails daily about, oh my God, the site is so good, and we're looking at each other going, I don't get it. But it's been an experience, that's for sure. So Arm Wrestling OTR from Newfoundland, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. If so, are there any clips? So I just covered that. I think I may have seen a sit-down match of yours lately, or a picture. You may have seen a picture. I'm not sure if there's any clips of it from me. Plays hell with the hemorrhoids, does arm wrestling pressure. Oh, Dean, that's great. That's just classic. And Arm Wrestling Nice, we'll check that out. Yeah, so there's a couple of videos with me in it. If you were to ask me, I wouldn't know exactly where to go to find them. As it was, this particular match I found with me and Randy Snow, I came across by accident. I was looking for a feature match with somebody else, and I see myself walking to the table, and I'm going like, wow, I don't even remember that. And then I read the tournament title, and I think it was from an Atlantic Canadian Championships that was held at the old Bullseye Pub in Bedford, Nova Scotia. It may not have been Atlantic Canadians, but it was definitely from the Bullseye Pub. And I think we had Shaw Cable or Eastland Cable out filming for us that day, and so that's where that match came up. So Arm Wrestling OTR, you can go check that out. It's under the feature matches banner on my YouTube channel here, and it is right there. So, folks, we're almost at an hour, 57 minutes. I can't believe I babbled on for that long. Is there any more questions before I wrap this up for tonight? I still love that place. Hell with the hemorrhoids, arm wrestling pressure. There's the comment of the night there, Dean. Thank you. Good to see me. I look good. Why, thank you. I don't think anybody's ever told me that before, but my wife believes it. That's funny as hell. That is funny. Okay, listen, folks, I really appreciate you all tuning in tonight for our very first live show. I'm not sure how many more of these we're ever going to do. You let me know what you'd like to see. So the only things, please subscribe to the channel. Obviously, you're here, so you know about us. Subscribe to the channel, like the videos, share the videos if you'd like to. Dean S., that's your sit-down match. Yes, exactly. And if you're so inclined, please become a member of the channel financially. It really, really helps. Cheers, Scott. We'll tune in again next time. I enjoy the stories. And look, and if maybe you want to show about that and just ask about different stories. And some stories are fit for the air and some stories are not fit for the air. But I've had an amazing, amazing life in arm wrestling. And I was just talking to Rick today about how long we think we can continue on this route that we're on. And thanks, Dean. I appreciate you tuning in. And that's it for tonight. I truly, truly appreciate you all tuning in and spending the last hour with me. And maybe once again, you'll invite me into your homes and we can have a chat again. Thanks, folks. It was great to chat with you all, and hope you have a great night. Thanks, and good night.